Welcome, it's Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance, and we are joined today by Pattison. He is a career coach, and he is going to be hosting a show through the Rancho Santiago Community College District in Orange County called Remade in America. And what I love about your vision is even though you're working with a community college district, your targets aren't necessarily the students that are just about to finish high school.
That's right.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, well, and it's a version of my Remade in America that we're doing exclusively called Remade in California.
Okay.
So we're going to do this statewide. And the whole idea here is there are many, many boomers, 45 plus, let's call them, they're not all boomers, that either during the recession or at some period need to reinvent themselves.
Right.
That's what I do. I'm a transition coach.
Of course.
So we approached the community college world and said, this is a unmet market that these people should be coming back to community college, retraining or upskilling is the buzzword, to learn new skills.
And let's talk about that, because as I'm sure you know, within the last 3 or 4 years, community colleges were trying to figure out what their focus would be as they marched through the 21st century. And they were starting to pull away from lifelong learning and really focusing on getting students either the AAs or their certificates or transferred to a 4-year. So taking ceramics for the retiree wasn't as available as it had been, let's say, in the last decade. Are you finding that now that we're pulling out of the recession, community colleges are returning to the lifelong learner model?
Well, I think that this specific target, this market that they're after in terms of baby boomers, it really is filling what is known as a skill gap. So they want to find industries have a specific job and they don't have the workforce with the skills to fill those jobs. So in Orange County, for example, I'm working with Lynn Stewart, who's the director of the Orange County Center for International Development. And she's also the deputy sector navigator for the community college district, Rancho Santiago Community College District. So she's working with people and the local industries there to kind of find the job first and then develop a program that'll give people of any age, but boomers are our focus, the skills to get those jobs.
And let's talk about the boomers. Because for better or for worse, we're bright, we're intelligent, but we just missed the technological revolution in the sense that we didn't grow up with it. And so, you know, my kids
digital natives.
I am not a digital native. I mean, you know, I'm barely a boomer. I don't think I'm technically a boomer, but I'm close. And so, you know, cell phones, that was after college. Computers after college. And so, you know, it's my daughters that are metaphorically teaching me how to use technology. So how are you working with boomers who are not, as you described, digital natives, when so many of these jobs really require technological competence?
Well, it's a little bit of a misnomer only because in terms of global trade, there are so many different opportunities.
And that's really your focus, global trade.
For this particular version of Remade in California, exactly.
Because today we're in Long Beach.
That's right.
Long Beach is the home of one of the biggest ports in the world. And when you consider the twin ports of LA and Long Beach, I mean, I think it's
number one.
Yeah, number one. And so just down the road, we have these ports that
have jobs. And in fact, to show you the bookend of the initiatives that the state is doing, this is part of Lynn's initiative in Orange County, is she just did a boot camp for high school students that was about global trade. So she's dealing with 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. She took them to the Port of Long Beach. They did or San Pedro. And they did a tour, and you know, so there's a group of kids that really they're being asked, okay, figure out what you want to do in college, pick your job, and they don't even know what the jobs are out there. What was interesting with this group, many of them speak a second language.
I was going to ask you that.
There was Mandarin, there was Spanish, there was Farsi.
I mean, I got to tell you. bilingualism, in my opinion, I've said this on our program, is so important.
Oh, absolutely.
But it doesn't seem to be in vogue
No.
to be bilingual. It's getting there. I'll boast for a second. We're raising our daughters to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not of Latino descent, but I feel that important. And our friends look at us like, I'm like, why are you doing that?
Poor
Why
John Kerry knowing French in the
didn't seem
in
to
the
help.
campaign.
Didn't seem to help. But what are you doing with the boomers? I mean, I'm trying to learn Spanish now. It's not so
Right.
easy in your
Yeah.
40s, but be that as it may, is bilingualism something that can help boomers?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's that the point with the high school students is now this is an asset to have that, and you can work in a industry where that's welcome.
The good news for boomers, it seems to me, is that the era of working for one company for your whole life,
Right.
that era has passed.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to be a career jumper.
Absolutely.
I am one. I presume you are one.
Yep.
Or am I saying it correctly? Is it okay to be a career jumper?
Well, I think what's happened, and this is the premise of my coaching practice, because I'm an executive transition coach. I'm working with people all the time, and it's exactly what you're saying. It's going from being reactive to being proactive. So planning your reinvention rather than going, oh my God, where's an opportunity? I'll just grab it and see if I can keep going for 4 or 5 years to get ahead of the curve and do that.
Could you explain why we have these two styrofoam
These two
balls
little
as a
guys,
metaphor?
well, in my past life as a marketing executive in the entertainment world, I did these projects for Jack in the Box and Disney,
Okay.
respectively. And I just brought these as an example of global trade.
Right.
That's part of what
Explain.
I have done. Well, these were ones we hired artists here
Right.
to design and sculpt these. Okay, those sculptures go over to China. Okay, there are people there that work with making these.
Sure.
We have people over on this
Right.
side of the world that are pulling in containers of these.
Of course.
Those people then have to ship these out to all the various Disney theme parks,
Right.
Jack in the Box fast food chains. So there's just, in terms of how many people are involved in that, customs people,
Right.
Science labs that are testing these. This is the opportunity in global trade. And down in Orange County, it's 165,000 jobs that are related to global trade.
So when you talk to boomers,
Yeah.
when you launch your program, what will you tell them in terms of the industries that make sense for boomers that are reinventing themselves, remaking themselves?
It's a broad spectrum. I mean, it's healthcare, it's hospitality, entertainment. Certainly in Los Angeles, a huge. I mean, just the
It's okay.
import and export of film and television properties. Technology.
But LA and the Southern California region does seem to put a premium on youth.
Yeah.
And so how do these boomers overcome that?
Yeah. Well, they get a facelift and they die.
They do that as well. But with all candor,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the response? What's the answer?
Well, I think this is an area where a maturity and
Right.
a certain life experience is an asset. So the companies that are looking, they don't have the people that have the skills right now. So they really want somebody that maybe has a little more life experience, probably is going to stick with them longer. Certainly if somebody later in life isn't looking to jump around and do this
I believe
next
you.
thing.
I believe you. His name is Pat Pattison. He is the genius, I guess, behind Remade in America, Remade in California. You can watch his upcoming program through the Rancho Santiago Community College District. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're in Long Beach today, and we thank you for joining us on Charter Local Edition.